Welcome back to Life Purpose Academy. That is Life Purpose Academy. What we like to refer to as LPA, Life Purpose Academy. And we started last week, the first lesson, we started talking about purpose and what is purpose. And so today what is actually your purpose? What is your and my purpose? And today what we're going to deal with, we're going to be talking today about why do I exist? Why do I exist? Discovering my purpose. And what we hope to do is help you today begin on that journey. Last week we began to define what purpose is. Purpose is three things. Three things. It's the original intent of a thing. It's the reason why something exists. It's also what is in the mind of the creator as to why he created whatever he created. So it's the reason for the creation. It's the reason why the created thing was created by the creator. So three things: the original intent of a thing, the reason why something exists, and then why the creator created the thing that he created. So those are the three things. So it's three things. So that's what purpose is. It's the original intent of a thing. It is also the reason why something exists, and it is the reason why the creator created the thing that he created, the purpose for which he created. Today we're going to talk, we're focusing on why do I exist? Why do I exist? Why do I exist? Discovering my purpose. Last week we broke it down and we got really into the details of what is purpose, because in order for us to understand what our individual purpose is, I thought we needed to establish what we meant by what purpose is in the first place. So now we're going to be talking about the discovery of purpose. How do I discover my purpose? My purpose. How do you discover your purpose? Now, when we got into it last week, one of the things we started talking about, one of the things that we started talking about, we were talking about three things that we felt like you needed to do to really get it. And that was mindset, skill set, and tool set. And we said last week that mindset is the way that I think and behave because of what I believe and I perceive. And we said that believing has more to do with understanding, and believing comes more from what we hear, and perception comes more from what we see. So perception which eventually becomes, well, perception has to do with our eyesight, our eyes, and understanding have to do with our ears. Perception is about what we see. So in order for me to get to understand my purpose, I have to have a certain perception and I have to have a certain understanding. So my mindset is going to have a lot to do with me understanding exactly what it is that my purpose is. If I'm going to discover a purpose, I got to set my mindset in a place to where I can perceive and understand what my purpose is. Now, the first thing that I think we need to do to understand, okay, is that when we ask this important question, why do I exist? One of the first questions we need to ask when it comes to why do I exist is, where do I, and I'm going to say we, come from? And the reason I'm doing it that way is because I want you to make it personal. Where do we come from? That's an important question. Where we came from, because purpose is the original intent of a thing. It's the reason why something exists. And it's the reason for which the creator created whatever it is he created. Then we all came from God. That's where we came from. We came from God. And in Genesis, the first chapter, 26th verse, it says, simply in that text, it says that God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the earth. Now, so God says from that text. Now, when we talk about creation, there's three things that we need to recognize when it comes to creation. When we're asking the question, why do we exist? There's three levels to this thing. There's the creation itself. That's it, the creation. Then out of the creation, there are creatures. And then there was Adam, which with God, he became a co-creator. So there's creatures, and then Adam, who was created to be a creator with God, who was made, it says. Now, I'm going to say this about creation. The creation is the result of four elements. There are four elements when it comes to creation. There's land, there's water, there's the wind, and then there's fire. The land can be identified as the earth. The water can be the seas, or as we call it in our day, oceans. And the wind can be identified as the air, and the fire can be coupled with light. So the creation came from the four elements: land, water, wind, and fire, with a correlation of for land, earth; for water, the seas, or what we call today ocean; the wind for air; and then the fire for light. Now, as we look at the creatures were made from the elements. The creation was made from the elements, and uh, uh, the formation of the elements. And then the creatures were created out of those elements to dominate and master those elements. And those creations, for out of the land came the animals and mankind. Out of the sea came the fish, and the out of the air, the wind, came the birds, and then out of the fire came light. So you have it. So you had creation, creatures. Then you had Adam, who was given dominion over the creation, the creatures. That was Adam. Adam was given dominion over the creatures, and then the creatures were given dominion over creation. So Adam was given dominion over the creatures, and the creatures were given dominion and mastery over the creation. So there was a pyramid, if you will, that God created. So man is given dominion over the creatures, and then the creatures were given dominion over the creation. So the creatures master and have dominion and mastery over the creation, and man is given the dominion over the creatures. And then if you will notice, mankind, the Adam, is given the authority over everything. And mankind, so Adam purpose is to bear the image and likeness of God. So Adam's purpose is to bear the image and likeness of God. We are to bear the image and likeness of God. That's where we have to start. That is the discovery of the purpose. What's your purpose? So you have to develop the mindset. You have to believe and behave like the image of God that you are. Now, the power of that is three things, the power of that. And we're talking about dealing with your mindset. And then we're going to get into skill sets later. And this is where we're going to end this. And we may pick up here again if we have more to talk about it, depending on how far we get. Imagination, dreams, and vision. See, God created everything out of his imagination, out of his dreams, and his ability vision, to have vision, to see the thing. Everything starts in the imagination, because when you want to build a house, let's say you want to build a house, you want a person to build a house, or let's not just you, let's say whoever built the house you lived in. That house that was built was in somebody's imagination before it became tangible. Everything that is in existence is, in essence, it exists in a abstract form or in intangible form, or we can say invisible, before it becomes tangible, concrete, or even visible. So it starts with the imagination. You have to imagine. So when God created all things, his highest imagination was, I'm going to create something that is just like me. God imagined trees. He imagined the dirt. He imagined water. He imagined grass. He imagined light. He imagined dust. He imagined everything that you see, flowers and plants and all the animals. And they were all a part of his imagination. He imagined the elephant. He imagined the dinosaurs. He imagined the lion, the tigers, the cows, the chicken. But then he had what could then he imagined a creation that could be just like him, and that is called man. So our purpose. So he gave us the ability of imagination, to imagine. When you look at the animals don't build houses. When you look at, no matter how intelligent they are, none of them, they may build a nest, or they may build something. They may assemble things. But in order to build cities and societies, they have to have the ability, the power to imagine. They also have to have the ability to dream. See, we have the ability to dream because of the power of our imagination. And then we have the ability to see things. That's why you can write a book and you can see the possibility. And you know that when you write a book, it's a vision, because think about it, it turns into a movie. And then the movie gives it life, visual effect. And so as we look at this, we are seeing, and we're going to leave it here, but we're beginning to see now how to discover. And we're discovering with our imagination, with our ability to dream, and our ability to envision. And we'll pick up here next on our next lesson as we continue this series talking about what is my purpose. Till next time, thank you.